Good evening. This is Laquita Moore, and the story that I will be summarizing to you tonight comes from the Fox 6 News channel, and it's entitled Safety Concerns for um, Schools in a Seattle Hometown. The name of the school was Broadview Thompson, which is a K through 8 school, and it was located near a homeless encampment, excuse me, which is which was located just a few feet away from the school. A parent by the name of Bruce Nichols talked with Ainsley Earnhardt on Fox and Friends. In the interview, this parent discussed his concerns he and other parents had about the homelessness in the community. Mr. Nichols told Miss Earnhardt how the school had to be closed because of a homeless man walked into the school. And luckily, no one was hurt because during this incident. But this school had many encounters um, and many things that caused this school dangers and encounters of the people and the homeless because the encampment was so close. So what happened is, but this man also talked about how the school has sent out letters to the parents, letting them know that while they were out on the playground with their children, that they need to be watchful of the needles and watchful of drug paraphernalia on the schoolyard, and that they need to be careful about things such as that. It was the homeless and the drug problems in that homely encampment was so bad to the point where they had to change the school activity. After school extracurriculum had to be changed and had to be cut off. A lot of the parents were upset and a lot of the children were afraid because the encampment had drugs in it, had fights, it was violent, it was loud. The police had to come out there a bunch of times because one time they had got to fight in the encampment, and one of the homeless people had a gun, and so the school had to be shut down and things of that nature. And during this interview, um, this is what during this interview, the parents were expressing their concerns and expressing how they felt, about this and how dangerous it was and how bad the homeless population in Seattle was. And then this particular parent was asked by Miss Earnhardt if he regretted moving to Seattle because he was not um, a resident of Seattle. He moved there, and him and his family. And he stated he didn't because he liked the city. However, he did feel that it was the school and the local government should have worked together to help combat the problems that they were having at the school system and how to handle the homeless population. And so what happened was, however, the school did not want to work with the local government, and they felt that it was solely a Seattle school district problem. But as we see, that didn't help. The district itself was falling short and wasn't providing adequate security and help that these parents needed. The story itself was really, really good and very interesting because it talked about the homeless population, and it also talked about the fear of the parents and the child. And this story can be found on Fox 6 News Channel under and as well as the homeless in Seattle University District videos. So you can go back and Google the whole story itself. But it is very, very good story. This story falls under the Department of Housing and Urban Development because the this federal program and agency administers programs that provide housing and community development. This story also falls under the McKinney-Vento Homeless Assistance Act, which was signed into law by the former President Ronald Reagan in July of 22nd of 1987. The law was assigned to help to combat homelessness. The law also was created more than 20 separate programs that is provided by nine separate federal agencies. Some of the agencies that came out of this program, this bill, this law, was the Emergency Shelter Grant Program. Section 8 came out of this. Supported Housing Demonstration Program, Shelter Plus Care, supplemental assistance for facilities to assist the homeless, single family property disposition, and others. However, in 1990, the McKinney-Vento Act was amended to help homeless children attend school with less restrictions. And in 2009, Congress passed another act that would modify the McKinney and several changes to the HUD homeless outreach program. The act was called HEART. It's HEARTH, which stands for Homeless Emergency Assistance for Rapid Transition to Housing. One thing and then for housing, according to HUD, the homeless population have 9 characteristics, and these characteristics are race, not gender, race, geographical spread, which means where you live, the location, rural homelessness, frequency, how often that these people repeat homeless programs in and out of shelters, things of that nature. Families, what type of families, the demographic of families. Is it single moms with children? Is it mother and father families? Unaccompanied youth, because a lot of the youth were who was in foster care um, aged out, and so therefore they aged out, they don't have a place to go, so they're on their own and they're homeless. Individual adults and veterans. Homelessness, and in closing, homelessness cannot be eliminated without a systematic change, both at the state and local government, local levels. Homelessness and poverty go hand in hand. They're inseparable and must be addressed together. And that's the homelessness, in my opinion, is is and given this day and age, and given the how prices have gone up, the cost of minimum wage hasn't increased in some states. Homelessness can come at anybody's door, because most of us are just a paycheck away from being homeless. So I don't think this is homelessness is a big problem in the United States, and the only way we can address it is addressing it both at the state and local levels. Thank you. Bye bye.